Hey guys, it's Nurse Jet, Nursing the Truth. I hope everyone is having a great 2020. So it's so glad to be back with you guys. I've been out of commission. Nurse J has had some difficulties starting this new holiday season. Little Sunny got lost on New Year's Eve and took off, and she was gone for 12 hours. And Nurse J was beside herself. And there was actually an honest man who called us because her number was on her collar. So Nurse J was very excited to have little Sunny back, and she's nibbling at my feet right now with her little doggy bone. So other than that, I have a little hoarse voice today. Went to the New Orleans Saints game, and there again, we were robbed for the second year in a row during a playoff game. So, that's number 2. So, number 3. Are we just talking about the number 3? Are we talking about a trinity? No, we are talking about World War III. Now, before we get into this little series, friends, I just want you to know that the powers that be have all this situated, have all this together. And friends, if you are a Christian and you have landed on my channel today, I thank you for that. And I hope you like, share, and subscribe and listen to me and take everything in and do your own research. I never said that I was 100%, but I'm giving you things that I've come about and I want to share, because this is Nursing the Truth, and I am a nurse by profession, and I will give you the remedies to cure yourself and your cognitive dissonance. Now, friends, I know that you're watching the news, or you've heard about the news here lately. And Donald J. Trump is saying that he wants to drop the bomb on Iran. Now, he killed, quote unquote, the general of the Iran. I don't know how to pronounce his name, so I'm not even going to try to butcher it up. But we all have to know that the media is propaganda. As Goebbels said in the Nazi regime, that the media and the radio is the best modes of propaganda to get the people on the side and then destruction from there. Now, folks, if you don't know your ancient history, I have to tell you that Parthia, which is Iran, kicked Roman Empire's ass twice. And if you think by any stretch of the imagination that these ancient DNA peoples has, pretty much, oh, I'm okay with you. Well, think again, friends. The Roman Empire has been on the curtails of Mesopotamia from its inception of the fighting. You see, Crassus, when he was a triumvirate with Pompey and Julius Caesar, he thought he was going to go to Parthia, Iran, and kick their tails. But they said, wait, friend, you're at our doorstep. And guess what? If you think the Roman Empire is coming over here and taking over our land, well, you better think twice. And they tied Crassus up, and they melted gold, and they poured it down his frickin' throat. So, friends, I'm here to tell you that these ancient people do not play games. So, what I'm saying is that the media is a great tool for the Zionist regime. quote, Nazi regime, the Fourth Reich. And they have this down to a T because there's timelines, there's gematria, and they have this new world order set up. Look at your dollar bill, the new world order, the pyramid. Okay? So where am I going with this? Exactly what I said. The New World Order. I have a book called The Secrets of Freemason, and it's by Michael Bradley. Now, I don't know if this book is out of print. I don't know. I found it at a secondhand bookstore, and I said, you know what? I'm getting that because there's secrets in there, friends. And Albert Pike, which was the Mac Daddy of the Freemasons. And you know, I don't support slavery and I don't support all this. But in Washington, D.C., when these monuments were being taken down all over, including Robert E. Lee in New Orleans and Lee Circle, and then Nathan Bedford Forrest from Tennessee, they left Albert Pike in Washington, D.C. And why would they leave Albert Pike? You know, he even has a park or a camping site in Arkansas called Albert's Pike. So, friends, check it out. And so, anyway, they left his statue. And it was a 33rd degree Mason. And he was in the Ku Klux Klan. He started all that. He was very racist. He documented about his racism. And he expressed his vision on the Masonic Brotherhood. Okay, I'm reading this excerpts out of this book. And he was against the blacks. Now, he was very instrumental in the New World Order. He had close links to the Italian revolutionary Mazzini, who was a 33rd degree Mason. And he became head of the Illuminati in 1834, and whom some credit with founding the Mafia in the 1860s. The Mafia runs this United States corporation. It's not in America. It has been a corporation since 1871. I urge you to, when you finish this video, go on YouTube and research the Act of 1871. Abraham Lincoln, he really did us justice. So, black friends, sisters and brothers, he didn't like you. Okay? That's a farce. If people want to say yay for Abraham Lincoln and the abolition of slavery, that's a bunch of BS. He even told Frederick Douglass, I don't know anything of your kind, and he wanted to put you back on ships and ship you back to Africa. And Frederick Douglass says, no, we are here and we want to be a part of the United States. But Abraham Lincoln didn't like that. 40 acres and a mule. How do you like that shit? So anyway, moving on, friends. And I hope you are liking this video so far because you're learning a lot. Just like I did from researching and watching friends and truth seekers alike as well. Now, Pike and the Mazzini of Italy and two other 33rd degree Masons, Lord Henry Palmerston of England and Otto von Bismarck of Germany. Hello! Does that ring a bell? Germany. Hello. And they used the Palladian Rite to create an occult umbrella group that would unite all Masonics, all Mason groups together. This is a web. www, World Wide Web, the internet. Now, he wrote a letter to Mazzini dated August the 15th, 1871, in which he outlined his vision for 3 world wars. Now, Christians, your Messiah HaMashiach, Yeshua, is not coming. Muslims, dear brothers, salam, salam, Allah. I said this all the time in Egypt, and now my tongue is tied, brothers and sisters. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. Allah is not coming. Judaism, this Yahweh is not coming. Who is coming? They say Yahweh is. But really, what is this? Salam alaikum. That's it. Thank you. Anyway, so he had this vision for 3 world wars. Albert Pike and his little pea brain that would ultimately bring about one world government. People that are sitting back wanting to know what the hell is what they're doing next year, and they're going to get their Louis Vuitton purses and their Kim Kardashian makeup, and who's going to do the next iPhone. You better get off your ass and you better research, because if we don't do something about this now, and if you're going to sit back and like la-di-da, tweedly-tweedle-dum, they're putting movies out about what they're doing, transhumanism, your Terminators, your damn Star Wars. You better get up off your ass and you better start seeing what the hell is going on. But so it's me and other people trying to wake and shake you up. Now, this letter was in the British Museum for a while, but people started waking up. People started talking. So what did they do? They snatched the ass letter out of the museum. Oh, and you know Queen Elizabeth of England knows all about this because she's of German blood. Okay? Now, Pike's Illuminati plan was as simple as it has been proved effective. It called for communism, Nazism, political Zionism, and other international movements to be organized through this group. They wanted 3 global wars and at least 2 major revolutions. The following are excerpts from the letter showing how the 3 world wars were to be planned. And people with little bitty pea brains, it's time to expand the peas into bigger concepts. And you better listen, and you better take note. You better do your research. And today is the day. January the 6th of 2020 is the day that you will make a new contract and get away from cognitive dissonance and start paying attention to Nurse J and others that are on the channels. And you better start waking up and getting out of these religions. Okay? Number 1. Number 2, you better start looking at the governments and what they're doing. Number 3, be careful what you watch on TV, because it will pour crap into your brain. I haven't watched TV hardly in over 3 years. Even if I do watch TV, it's a little bit of movies, cryptic messages that I take in and I absorb. So, the First World War must bring about the Illuminati to overthrow the power of the czars in Russia and making a country a fortress of atheistic communism. The divergences caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the British and Germanic empires will be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments and in order to weaken the religions. What happened in the First World War? 1914 to 1918, and they just come out with a movie called 1917? Wow, things are heating up in the world. Star Wars. 1917. You better pay attention. Okay? And you have Germany and Russia and the Treaty of Versailles. Go do your homework. Number 2, the Second World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences between the fascists and the political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Germany is destroyed and that the political Zionism be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel and Palestine. During the Second World War, international communism must become strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm. Christians, excuse me, I just drank something earlier and I'm belching up. Christians, listen to me. I was a Christian all my life. Believed all of this stuff that the Roman Empire gave me, and it's no fault to the parents because they were born into this. You have to excuse the parents and forgive and let bygones be bygones. So I know my mother watches my channel. So Mother, if you're watching today, I do forgive you. It's not your fault. You were brainwashed into this just as much as I have. Forgive your mother and father and move on. It's time that we resonate with what is within inside of us, and we must think back to the divine that gave us life. Now, with the Second World War, Hitler was a fascist, and he also was involved in communism with they're Bolsheviks. Bolsheviks and communism are two of the same little bird. And the Nazi was fascist. And they helped the political Zionist. And Germany did get destroyed. And Zionism emerged out of the fascism. You see, Hitler was working both sides of the fence. He was working as the fascist. He was helping the Zionist. And they saw a great leader in Hitler. He was bought and paid for. Now, not to say that at first he had maybe his own reasons for doing what he did. I'm not for murder. I'm not for anything. Okay? But I'm just saying that in his mind, that, and this dog is under my chair doing what? I have no idea. But anyway, in his mind, he was thinking, okay, well, us Germans, we're not getting anything. You Jews, whatever you are bankers and you're destroying my people. And then he just went on some kind of manic, I don't know. But anyway, It worked. Zionism came through and they balanced Christendom. And they've held it in check since the Second World War. Did you know that the Catholic Church was in on... Oh my goodness, Sonny got my sock. Thank you. And you're trying to bite a hole in my new sock. But anyway, stop it. Anyway, so the Catholic Church was in on the Nazi deal. They were hiding and abetting Nazi killers. They were letting them into the Catholic Church as priests. They were hiding them in the Vatican, giving them fake names, fake social securities, fake IDs. Did you know that Pope Benedict, the Ratzinger, the little rat, the one before Pope Francis, was a Nazi? They have pictures of him with his arm up. Heil Hitler. So, and they knew about it. Go watch on Netflix, guys, a series called, or a movie called, The Two Popes. I'm in the middle of watching that right now. It's pretty cool. Two radical views by two different people. Now, I didn't say I was for Pope Francis at all. Okay? But if you had to deal between the two, it looks like you would go on the side of Francis. Okay? In this movie. Because in the movie, the people in Italy didn't like him. They called him a Nazi. And it was very well known in the Vatican that he was a Nazi. Woohoo! Isn't this funny? I'm enjoying this lecture. Okay? So now they hide Hitler. Hitler didn't die. It was all made of bull crap. You know, people that look like Hitler. Or maybe he just posed for the papers. Because, you know, Russia was in on this. Do you actually think that they were going to kill Hitler? Lay down, Hitler, play like you're dead, and we're going to pretend like we're throwing you in a hole, and we're pretending like we're going to burn you. See, what is really sad is that the military men of no rank, or maybe even the higher ranks, don't know what the game plan is. And they're being used as pawns until we stand up as Americans and until we stand up as human beings. We need to put our foot down and say no to war. We're tired of our energy. We're tired of our blood being spilled. We're tired of our women and men and children going over there for nothing. 58,000 to 90,000 of Vietnam veterans went to Vietnam for a political party problem. My dad was over there for a year, got shot at, came home, and has had issues with the PTSD, but he is okay. But that's not the point. The point is we need to stop this crap. And we need to say, why don't we wake up and we need to go to the White House. We need to march all over the world. This is coming to a stop, and it's coming to a halt now. And we have got to rise up and say no to this system. And until we do, then we are led as sheep to the slaughter. The Third World War must be fermented by taking advantage of the differences, caused by the agents of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam and the Arab world and the political Zionism, meaning the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other, and we shall unleash the annihilations and the atheist, and we shall provoke a great social cataclysm, which in all of its horror will show clearly to all nations the effects of absolute atheism, the origins of savagery and of most bloody turmoil, and then everywhere the people will be forced to defend themselves against the world minority of the world revolutionaries, and will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitudes disillusioned with Christianity, whose spirits will be from that moment without direction and leadership and anxious for an ideal, but without knowledge where to send its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out into public view. A manifestation which will result from a general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. Christians, Muslims, are you listening? This is a plan that has been in place since the 1800s, friends. Freemasonry, or the initiate rites, thousands and thousands of years ago, was by Egypt. And it was nothing like this. They have taken the ancestral spirituality of the sun, moon, and stars and the turn of the cycles, and they have made it into some kind of delusional, evil monster. We are on the precipice of seeing a world war. They want this to happen. Don't you understand that they, the one percenters, the Rothschilds that own Israel, want this? They are over the money, the gold. Why do you think they want Africa? Why do you think they're killing people by the millions? Vaccinations, wars, forest fires, operations, ISIS. We're not stupid. The ones that are open-minded and can see straight through the bullshit will call a bullshitter. And I will call you a bullshitter. Only the strong shall survive. And I'm telling you, you must pull the inner sanctum out, and you must crack it open and say, no more, no more. Call the ancestors. It will be savagery. There will be a horror show that you've never seen before. And when they unleash this, it will be millions dead. Famine, disease, and war. And they have the Georgia Guidestones that want to only have 500 million people on this planet. That's the whole planet. 8 million people are in New York City alone. And they will bring their own doctrine down. There will be no Christianity. There will be no Islam. So who is this Lucifer? We know it's the light bringer of truth. But is it their light bringer of truth? Doesn't sound like truth to me. And all will be exterminated. You see, the Balfour Declaration was signed, I believe, in 1916 or 1917. And Britain and Lord Balfour and all these heads of state knew exactly what they were doing. Go research, I think it's Theodore Herzl, which was over the Zionism of making the state of Israel in the 1800s. He lived in, I think he was maybe an Austro-Hungarian Jew. And see, that goes with George Soros as well and that family. And he didn't even want the state of Israel to be in Palestine. He wanted it to be somewhere else. And they all decided it to be there. A make-believe place. And you know, even Hitler was shipping these Ashkenazi, Sephardic people over to this land in the 40s. Did you know that? So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. I'm going to send the people over there, but I'm going to exterminate half their asses over here. So there must have been a mind click where he went off. Oh, I'm going to do what you say. But then, screw you. So what I'm trying to say is shit's getting heated up. And if you don't want to, you know, research and do your homework and research Albert Pike, research Hitler, Theodore Herzl, Balfour Declaration, Freemasonry, then you're a goner. You know, the Roman Empire gave us the Bible. They gave us the wonderful stories of Revelation. They gave us the story. So, they know. They know what is truth and what is not. And don't you think, now just use your brain, don't you think that if he wrote this, Pike, and he has this all written down. Now, if God, Jesus, was omnipresent, omnipotent, he was everywhere, he knows everything, he's like frickin' Santa Claus on a damn sleigh, don't you think he could do something about that? Don't you think that he would say, you know what, I got all my millions of children, and if you think I'm going to let him do World War I and World War II, don't you think then he would have done something to save his children. If we are made in the image of God, like they tell us, then he wouldn't want us to die. So, friends, y'all need to take a real good look at what's going on. You need to research your Sumerian tablets. You need to read your Emerald Tablets of Thoth. You need to do your research in ancient history. And just know, like I do, call upon the gods. Call upon the great ones that have our backs. Because they are some that do have our backs. And if you know the right ones to call, they're not going to let this happen. Do you think that they want this planet, this area to be destroyed? Positive energy, love, and vibrations. Get away from the TV, and you will see a difference in your illumination. Until next time, Hotep, Ashe. And if anyone knows who young Pharaoh is, I sure would love to talk to him. I sure would love to do a podcast with him. I've reached out to him and emailed him. And I've also reached out and emailed Mythvision. So if any of you guys are followers of Mythvision or Young Pharaoh or General Seti, I sure would love to have a podcast with them. My email is nursej70@hotmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and family about me. And as usual, when you search for the truth and you find the truth, then the truth shall set you free. Good day, my friends. Goodbye.